Despite his repeated failed attempts, he finally summoned the courage to ask his crush out, only to be brutally rejected, just like the 99 times before. But things were about to change when he entered high school. Rentaro has been on a legendary quest to obtain 100 wives, and so far he's managed to collect 6. And the awkward, unattractive Rento would somehow become a magnet for girls, even marrying several to make up for his past rejections. It all started when Rento gathered the courage to confess his feelings to his longtime crush. She told him she liked him, yes, but only as one of her fans, not as someone she would ever date. She even went as far as saying that the thought of dating a loser like him made her want to puke. This rejection sent Rento spiraling into a deep depression, wishing he could just disappear. As his friend walked him home, they tried to cheer him up, making light of the fact that it was his 100th rejection. His friend joked that he might even set a Guinness World Record for it. Meanwhile, Rento just stood there sobbing like a broken soul, thinking back on his first rejection and wondering if he'd ever know what it felt like to have a girlfriend. His friend, confused by Rento's consistent failures despite his many good qualities, bid him farewell with a sarcastic good luck for his high school love life, which seemed doomed to be another disaster. That night, Rento went to a shrine to pray to the god of love, hoping for a miracle. He felt he had nothing to offer, no redeeming qualities, that he desperately wished for a life of joy and love. As he prayed, something strange happened. A voice echoed through the shrine. Startled, Rento saw a muscular old man emerge from the donation box claiming to be the great god of love. But the god told Rento not to worry. He would meet his soulmate in high school and his life would be filled with love and happiness. Rento was overwhelmed with hope at the thought of meeting his soulmate, only for the god to add something unbelievable. Rento would meet not one, but 100 soulmates. Rento laughed at the absurdity and called the god a fraud, threatening to burn the shrine down if it was all just a trick. A month later, Rento entered high school, unaware that his strange 100 soulmate journey was about to begin. One day, while walking down the hall, he accidentally bumped into 2 girls, Inda and Hakari. As soon as their eyes met, Rento felt a strange sensation. Could these 2 girls be his soulmates? As he tried to help them up, Hakari pretended to have sprained her ankle and asked Rento to carry her to the nurse's office. This caused Rento to sob with guilt, feeling terrible for unintentionally hurting such a pretty girl. As he tried to pick her up, Inda, also pretending to be injured, blocked his path. In a flurry of confusion and self-punishment, Rento started punching himself as if to atone for his clumsiness. This made the girls stop it, realizing they had been faking their injuries all along. As Rento helped them both to their feet, the girls began to cling to him, fighting over space as they walked to the nurse's office. Rento, overwhelmed by the sudden attention from 2 girls, felt like he was about to lose control of his bladder. It was like a dream come true, but also terrifying. As they walked, Rento learned that the 2 girls were in his class. Inda and Hakari overheard 2 students talking about a legendary 4-leaf clover sent to give girls unlimited power to ask any guy out. Intrigued, the girls ran off, leaving Rento behind to search for the elusive clover. A few hours later, after classes ended, Rento was walking home when he stumbled upon Inda and Hakari again, this time searching for the 4-leaf clover on a pink field. Shocked to see them again, Rento approached and offered them drinks. Inda, shy as ever, hesitated to take the drink from him, afraid of revealing her feelings for him. The 2 girls bickered like lovebirds, and Inda, in a fit of shyness, knocked the drink over and ran off. Just then, a car passed by and Hakari took the opportunity to ask for an indirect kiss. She told Rento that she couldn't finish the can of drink and wanted to share it with him instead. The awkwardness and excitement of the moment left Rento stunned, realizing that his life was about to take a strange turn. Rento was as clueless as ever. When Hakari asked if he could drink half of her soda because she couldn't finish it, Rento, not understanding the hint, went off to grab a smaller can for her. Hakari, determined to share an indirect kiss with him, insisted she couldn't finish even a smaller can. Taking her words literally, Rento decided to gulp down the soda for her. But just as her plan was about to succeed, Hakari got so overwhelmed with excitement that she spilled the entire drink. Her dream of an indirect kiss was gone, leaving her heartbroken. Rento, noticing her distress, kindly offered her a handkerchief to clean herself up, but Hakari instead took his hand and, blushing deeply, confessed her feelings for him. She asked him out right then and there, declaring that overwhelmed, he began sobbing like a grade schooler. Just as the moment was about to become intimate, Inda, who had always been in denial about her feelings for Rento, appeared. She carried a bag filled with soda cans as a gesture to repay Rento for his earlier kindness, only to freeze in shock at the sight of Hakari holding his hand. Unable to hold back her emotions any longer, Inda also confessed her love for Rento. For the first time in his life, Rento was faced with a completely foreign dilemma. 2 girls had asked him out on the same day. The girls demanded that he choose between them, but Rento, feeling conflicted and overwhelmed, told them he needed time and asked for their patience until the next day. That night, Rento returned to the shrine and begged the so-called almighty god of love for advice. The god, who seemed to have memory issues, admitted that he'd made a mistake. Instead of blessing Rento with 1 soulmate, he had accidentally given him 100. To make matters worse, the god revealed that Rento had to make all 100 soulmates happy or he would die a terrible death. Horrified, Rento realized the god of love was far from almighty and had a bad case of Alzheimer's. Desperate, Rento came up with what he thought was a brilliant plan. He would secretly date both girls behind their backs. The next day, Rento met Inda and Hakari, looking disheveled and nervous. The girls were startled by his appearance and asked if something was wrong. Rento, unable to lie, made a heartfelt confession. He admitted that he didn't want to choose between them because he cared for them both. He went on to make an emotional speech declaring his love for both of them and promising to make them the happiest girls alive. To back up his sincerity, he presented each girl with a 4-leaf clover, knowing how much they had searched for it. Inda scoffed at the idea of believing in such a childish legend, but Hakari reminded her that they had once believed in it enough to search for it themselves. Inda initially refused to share Rento with anyone, stating that she wanted him all to herself. But when Rento delivered another romantic speech about how much he cherished both of them, Hakari was the first to agree to be his girlfriend. Seeing this, Inda, unable to suppress her jealousy, also agreed, reluctantly accepting the idea of sharing Rento. Overjoyed, Rento promised to make them both happy, completely forgetting he had 98 other soulmates waiting for him. As Rento basked in his newfound happiness, he began talking to a pole about his relationship status without even realizing it. The girls caught him in the act, and embarrassed, Rento quickly distracted them by explaining how thrilled he was to finally have girlfriends. Inda, sensing his loneliness, softly told him that she was always ready to listen to him, though her shyness made her retreat almost immediately. Hakari, more assertive, grabbed Rento's hand and pulled him close. Inda, jealous as always, grabbed his other hand, and the three of them walked to school together like lovebirds, their names echoing each other's minds. As they entered the school year, they were interrupted by the sight of the infamously strict vice principal chasing a delinquent student. The scene made them pause, but Hakari suddenly asked Rento if he had ever kissed anyone before. Clueless as always, Rento admitted that Inda and Hakari were his first ever girlfriends. Hearing this, the two girls launched into a heated argument over who would get to be Rento's first kiss. During lunch, the trio sat alone on the rooftop. Hakari seized the opportunity to offer Rento food she had made for him. When Rento took a bite and began crying tears of joy at how delicious it was, Inda, feeling jealous, pulled out a batch of cookies she had baked. Rento opened his mouth to receive a cookie, but Inda, embarrassed, accidentally stuffed it into his eye instead. When Rento finally got to taste it, he joked that it was love at first bite, literally. The rooftop soon became the stage for a battle of affections. Hakari, devising a clever plan, came close to stealing Rento's first kiss, only for Inda to interrupt by blinding Rento's other eye with yet another cookie. The battle escalated into chaos, with Hakari delivering playful melon punches to Inda, while Rento finally realized what was going on. Despite the absurdity of the situation, Rento couldn't help but feel like his life had taken a miraculous turn. He, the clueless boy who had faced 100 rejections, was now the center of attention for two beautiful girls. But with 98 more soulmates out there, his chaotic love story was just beginning. Rento sighed as the chaos between Inda and Hakari escalated. He told them bluntly that instead of fighting, they could have just asked for a kiss. Even after his little speech, the girls continued their bickering, ignoring his attempt at reasoning. Despite their fighting, Rento secretly came up with what he thought was a genius plan to settle the matter: a random kiss. To execute his brilliant idea, Rento blindfolded both girls and declared that fate would decide who would get his first kiss. He approached Hakari first. Embarrassed and flustered, Rento restarted the plan, determined to do it right this time. As Rento moved toward Inda on his second attempt, Inda, mortified and misunderstanding the situation, assumed it was Rento's doing. In her rage, she kicked him squarely in the gut, calling him a shameless degenerate. Despite numerous tries, each attempt at creating a random kiss failed miserably. Exhausted and utterly defeated, the trio sat in silence, wondering how something as simple as kissing could be so difficult. Before long, Inda and Hakari began bickering again, each laying claim to Rento. Frustrated and overwhelmed, Rento stopped them mid-argument and took all the blame upon himself. He confessed tearfully that he was a useless, inexperienced boyfriend with no idea what he was doing. Embarrassed, he ran off, yelling for the infamous vice principal, a terrifying disciplinarian who punished rule breakers with an unexpected French kiss. Horrified at what he might do, Inda and Hakari ran after him. They arrived just in time to stop the vice principal from carrying out her bizarre punishment. Catching their breath, the girls demanded to know why Rento had run off like that. Rento, filled with emotion, confessed that he loved both of them deeply and hated seeing them fight. His words softened their hearts, and the two girls, moved by his sincerity, reluctantly agreed to let go of their rivalry, at least for now. In a burst of excitement, Rento came up with another brilliant idea. They should all share a kiss at the same time, a kiss song, as he called it. Although the suggestion sounded completely ridiculous, the girls, caught up in the moment, agreed. Somehow, they managed to pull it off, creating a strange, heartfelt scene that felt like a mix between romance and absurdity. Rento was so happy he thought their shared kiss might have summoned a UFO, or perhaps just his good fortune. The next day, Rento and his two girlfriends were in the library, where Inda and Hakari were trying to impress him by checking out cookbooks to prepare meals for him. Meanwhile, Rento wandered the shelves, searching for a book that piqued his interest. Just as he reached for one, his hand bumped into another. Looking up, he locked eyes with a shy girl who was also reaching for the same book. It was a classic Netflix romance moment, and Rento felt the now familiar soulmate sensation ripple through him, setting the stage for the next chapter in his adventure. Rentaro has been on a legendary quest to obtain 100 wives, and so far he's managed to collect 6. At the end of Season 1, late 2023, Hikari began to worry that Rentaro might get bored with their relationship, so she decided to spice things up with Kasuri and her new drug experiment. Unfortunately, she messed up again, causing an explosion that sent Rentaro and his girls to the roof. Rentaro saw that everyone was alright, but their bodies had switched. Now it's chaos trying to figure out who is in whose body. Miss Pervert, Hikari, took this as an opportunity to act dizzy and sniff Rentaro, but he immediately recognized her. Next, Kasuri gave herself away, and in C's body, Hikari and her body had been switched with Karen's. Karen was delighted with her new, larger body, but her shy nature gave it away. Whoever was in Karen's body was smiling in a creepy way, which made Rentaro uneasy. Then Nano handed her phone to reveal that Shizuka was actually Nano. To figure out how to return to normal, Shizuka suggested banging heads together like in stories, but the real body owners were worried about damage. Hikari guessed that a kiss might work, and Nano agreed. She called Rentaro into her embrace and pulled him in for a lap pillow, showing a dangerously affectionate, motherly side. After everything was set up, she kissed her prince and the body switching was resolved. The kiss released the soul from the body. Rintaro was hurled a blow to the head and somehow he released her soul. Lastly, Karen Hikaru's body was tough to watch, but Rentaro kissed her too to finish the ritual. With all the girls back in their original bodies, their plan to excite Rentaro worked. He confessed that he loved all of them just as they were, which melted their hearts. The girls wanted to kiss him in their respective bodies, and after the kiss mania ended, it was lunch break. Rentaro encountered a new girl who seemed to be another soulmate. She looked like a middle schooler, but there was no rule saying she couldn't be there. She had forgotten her wallet and couldn't buy her egg bread. Rentaro, being kind, offered to share his and she gladly accepted. She explained that her class had been talking about the egg bread in a movie, which gave her a craving. But she was a good eater. She was also a bit irritable when hungry, but after eating the bread, she felt better. Rentaro tried to figure out if it was her favorite food, but the girl revealed that she had been craving it after caring about it. Despite being a bit rude to him earlier, she appreciated the gesture. This was the beginning of Rentaro's relationship with a new foodie growth. Later, Rentaro invited her to the cooking classroom where he made her the egg bread himself. She was impressed and touched even though Rentaro got burned by the oil while preparing it. When she asked why he was so kind to her, Rentaro explained that he found it charming how she enjoyed her food. This melted her heart and she confessed she wanted to eat every meal with him as her boyfriend. That's how Rentaro bagged his 7th girlfriend, introducing her to his harem family. She made it clear that she wasn't interested in getting along with the other girls and Nano understood her feeling. Rentaro mentioned a local food competition where the winner would receive money and gelato. Kuzubi thought of going alone, but middle schoolers needed guardian, so she asked Hikari to pretend to be her mom. Hikari agreed, but only if Kusumi called her mommy in return, a deal Rentaro wasn't having. The first episode ended here, so stay tuned for the next one. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell icon to get the latest updates.
The story begins with a boy named Alec who was peacefully fishing by the sea. Without warning, a powerful magician named Eldis appeared behind him. Eldis, who served as the kingdom's official court magician, looked at Alec and asked, "Child, would you like to learn magic?" From that moment, Eldis began to teach Alec the art of magic. Alec found it exhilarating because the magic he learned was unbelievably overpowered. Eldis, the kingdom's head mage, started by teaching him how to cast a basic fireball. Alec felt immense pride. He had dreamed of using magic ever since he was a child. Overjoyed and eager, Alec begged Eldis to teach him more, but Eldis firmly refused and said, "No, child, that is enough for today. If you continue recklessly, your mana will be wasted." When Alec insisted, Eldis revealed something shocking. "Do you know, Alec, that the magic you learned in a single day usually takes people an entire month to master?" Alec was stunned and deeply inspired by Eldis's words, dreaming of becoming a great magician himself one day. But Eldis gave him a stern warning. No matter how skilled he became, he must never, under any circumstances, become a court magician. They returned to fishing together. Eldis was about to tell Alec something important when suddenly a fish tugged on the line. Despite being an immensely powerful mage, Eldis was completely hopeless at fishing, so Alec helped him pull in the catch. Together, they managed to catch a large fish. Time passed, and Alec gradually transformed into an overpowered mage as his magical mana grew incredibly strong. He mastered fire magic, ice magic, and more. The